Hello, I'm Bernard Hickey from interest.co.nz and welcome to 90 at 9, brought to you in association with Bank of New Zealand. This is your morning briefing where you get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock, starting now, with news that Barack Obama has signed into law a deal to increase America's debt ceiling on the last day possible. However, the S&P 500 and stock markets globally are down 2.5%, a real slump. Gold is at a record $1,650 an ounce almost. Now this is because people are worried about America's economy slipping back into a triple dip recession. Factory output in America, Europe and China are all starting to fall, and US spending figures out overnight showed spending down 0.2% in June. Meanwhile, incomes rose 0.1%. So people are saving more. This is all about deleveraging, and the US economy appears to be almost stalled. We saw very weak second quarter GDP figures this week, and there is now talk of a third round of quantitative easing, money printing, by the US Federal Reserve. That saw the US 10-year bond yield fall to 2.6% overnight. This move to take risk off the table saw the New Zealand dollar down under 87 cents briefly this morning. And that's because, in part, there are renewed fears about the sovereign debt crisis in Europe. Italian and Spanish bond yields headed for new peaks against German bond yields. Italian bond yields are up over 6.25%. Spanish bonds are now 4% higher than German bonds. They're up over 6.45%. This caused the Spanish Prime Minister to postpone his holiday, and there's a crisis meeting going on in Italy right now. Cyprus was also nearing default. European money markets have started to freeze again in similar ways to the way they did when Lehman Brothers collapsed. Italy will run out of cash by September. Spain will be out of cash by February unless it can access bond markets. And with these yields rising to record highs, this makes it difficult. Meanwhile, the Fonterra's milk price auction overnight saw prices fall 1.3%. They're now down 21% in US dollar terms since March the 1st. Meanwhile, the New Zealand dollar over that same period is up 17%. So that's a double whammy for farmers, and people must now be questioning what the payout will do. The New Zealand dollar, meanwhile, over 80 Australian cents briefly yesterday after the Reserve Bank of Australia held its official cash rate at 4.75%. There is now talk of a cut in the next year in Australia. I'm Bernard Hickey. That was 90 seconds at 9 o'clock, or slightly more, brought to you in association with Bank of New Zealand.